Hey everybody, welcome to another Zoom. But right now I have my brother Ryan Russell here to speak with us. And you'll find out why I chose him here in a moment. It's not just because he's my brother and an awesome guy, although he's both of those things as well. So hey buddy, thanks for joining us today to talk about what you do and how it can help. Well, it can help these kids listening right now.
Absolutely.
So
My pleasure.
what exactly is it that you do?
That's awesome. Thanks, Chad. Mr. Russell, excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Russell. Like Mr. Russell said, my name is Ryan Russell. And the most important thing that I do is I'm a dad. My wonderful wife's name is Sarah, and I have two kiddos. Emily is 6, and Andrew is 4. Professionally, I wear a couple of different hats. First of all, I'm a professor of marketing at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. I teach a few different marketing classes. The one that I like to talk about the most is called digital marketing, where we talk about all things marketing on the internet. And then the other hat that I wear that kind of runs parallel to that is I own a marketing agency. A marketing agency is when a company hires another company to help them do their marketing. I'm the chief executive officer of Lift Media Group, and we're located downtown, but we have clients around the world.
So digital marketing, is that like social media?
Social media is part of what we do. Absolutely. It's a big part of what we do. I like to divide marketing into paid, owned, and earned marketing. Paid marketing is what you pay for. Owned marketing is marketing that you own. So things like your website or your social media profiles, things like that. And earned marketing is marketing that you earn. So that's like if the newspaper writes an article about you or something like that. And so, yeah, social media actually can span all of those parts. And so we do a lot of that at our marketing agency, and I teach a lot of it at UTC.
So, well, I have social media. I have a Twitter account. I've got Instagram. I'm not cool enough for TikTok or Snapchat yet.
You're
I'm,
cool
I'm,
enough.
I'm working on it. I'm working
Look
on
at
it.
your tie. Come on.
Yeah. So, but like, there's a difference between what I do at home and on, after school, and what you do, and also what kind of like the influencers, the big guys that have hundreds of thousands of followers. So, what's the difference between like me, you, and the influencers?
Yeah, that's a really good question. First of all, what I'll say to honor what you do and even what your students do is there's a lot of the skills that you guys are learning that are going to give you the capability to do what I do. So, being a content creator of making Facebook posts or making Instagram videos or TikTok videos, things like that, are giving you a lot of the skills. What I think separates the non-professional from professional is strategy. Strategy is having a plan in place. So there's a reason why the University of Alabama has won tons of national championships, right, in football. It's because they have a really good plan in order to do it. They're not going out there and running into the huddle and saying like, all right, what are we going to do? No, they've got a really in-depth plan. And so a strategy is when we have a goal in mind for what that post is supposed to do. Are we trying to grow the awareness of the brand, let more people know about them? Are we trying to sell products? Are we trying to get people to sign a petition, visit my website, sign up for my email list, vote for my presidential candidate? Strategy is really what separates professional from non-professional.
Well, we've got a plan back here of what we're about to do. We're about to do a social media campaign asking, should we reintroduce wolves into the Adirondack State Park in New York State? And they also had a similar a vote on should they reintroduce wolves in Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. And there was a lot of campaigns going on. So we're working on a plan. We're working on a strategy. So what makes like what's a way to get people engaged, to get the clicks, to get the likes? What sells?
So it all starts with your goal, right? We've got to have a goal-oriented strategy, right? And so you need to first determine, all right, if I'm going to make a social media post, if I'm going to make a series of social media posts, what is my goal for those things? What is it that I'm wanting them to do? Am I wanting to reach more people? Am I wanting to get people to sign a petition, to let them know that a problem even exists? Things like that. If you don't lead people down that path, they won't know what to do when they see your piece of content that you created. And so, yeah, absolutely. That the type of thing that you just suggested with a cause-oriented marketing, absolutely, social media is perfect at accomplishing that. But what it really needs to do is to have a goal when you create that post. Have a goal in mind.
Okay, so we've got a goal. We've gone through our plan. We're going to fill out an organizer, make a plan. How do you get people to respond? So like what do you want? How do you get people to do that?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and that's one of the biggest challenges that my industry has now, because you guys are all of us are being inundated with so much marketing on a daily basis. I mean, you're watching this video right now, and I've got an Adidas shirt on, and you're getting inundated by marketing right now, right? It happens all the time, and so it's becoming increasingly challenging to command attention and to engage people in what you're posting. And so that is the big secret is to engage people. In order to do that, you've got to be clear, concise, and to the point. So make your post incredibly clear, make it simple to understand, and don't try to do too much and go in the weeds with trying to say stuff that doesn't pertain to your goal. So I'll give you an example. When we create websites or social media posts, we use what's called the grunt test. The grunt test was created by a really smart guy named Don Miller. When he describes the grunt test, you should be able to open up a website, look at it for 5 seconds. So open it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should be able to close your computer and answer 3 questions. And you should be able to grunt like a caveman to answer those questions, because our brains are designed to conserve calories. That's how evolution designed us, is that our brains were to keep us alive and to conserve calories. And so when our brains have to work too hard, we stop listening, right? So we've got to grunt these 3 things like a caveman. What's the problem? How do I solve it? And what's the next step? What's the problem? How do I solve it? And what's the next step? And you should be able to grunt those 3 things like a caveman with your social media posts or your website. So what's the problem? Too many deer. How do I solve it? Introduce wolf. What do I do to fix it? Sign petition. And if you can do that in a way that's clear and engages your audience at the same time, that's where the magic happens.
Cool. So like an Instagram story, like they only appear for like 5 seconds, like each kind of slide or post only appears for like 5 seconds. And so that's kind of what we're going for, is to get that instantaneous.
Absolutely.
So like, wait, so like you get paid to do this type of thing?
I do, yeah.
So like, what skills do you need to do this? Like, is there anything these middle schoolers are doing right now, like skills they're learning here that would help them do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I started, unbeknownst to me, training for this career when I was in middle school. Social media didn't even exist when I was in middle school. Literally, when I was a senior in high school is when Facebook opened up to people who were not in college for the very first time.
I sent you the invite.
Yeah, Mr. Russell and I are old folks. Yeah, absolutely. There's stuff that you can be doing right now, and you guys are doing some of it with creating content. You need to start learning what it means to create things. You need to learn what it means to tell a story, right? To engage people in a story, to make them care about the things that you care about. And you don't do that with screaming or anything like that. Mr. Russell and I, our grandmother used to have this saying that you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And what that means is when you attract people to yourself, and you attract people to what it is that you want them to care about, and you do that in a positive, uplifting way, then you can really go far. So other things that you guys are doing right now that can help you better at a career like mine. You're not going to believe that I'm going to say this, but focus on math. Really math skills. Some of my best friends in this industry were math majors in college, because it's not just important to see what happens, it's to know why it happened and the numbers behind what happened. Science can really help you with this as well, because science is going to teach you about strategy, and learning that scientific method is going to be really, really important. Research skills as well. So even when you don't think you're honing those practical skills, when you learn how to research really well, that's really an important thing. And the final thing that I'd tell you that really helps me as at a marketing agency is just the simple act of learning. When you work for a marketing agency, you have to serve a lot of different clients in a lot of different industries. We have the joke that I tell at my marketing agency is we've served everyone from doctors who help birth babies all the way to doctors who work for hospice organizations who help people as they're in the process of dying. So I have to learn a lot of things, and I have to learn them really quickly to learn about those businesses. So if you can learn and learn quickly, that'll really help you out in the marketing agency. Can I add one more too?
Sure.
Writing. Be a good writer. That's one of the struggles that a lot of people have. If you can write papers really well, it'll really help you as far as clarity and being able to be understood. You'll make a lot more money too.
So sentences begin with a capital letter, end with a punctuation mark.
And engaging, right? And
Yeah.
and make it good, right? The easiest way to get somebody to ignore you or anything like that is if it's unclear. Because remember, our brains have to work too hard if something is unclear. And so it's got to be clear.
So one final question, and this is something that they always want to know. So let's say, I'm an 11, 12, 13-year-old sitting here in science class. I'm like, hey, wait, I like social media. I like digital marketing. This sounds cool. I think I might want to do this. So here in 6, 7 years, I get into UTC, become a business major. I take your class.
Yeah, go Mox.
Go Mox. When I graduate, how much money could I make?
That's a great question. I'll pre-answer your question too. First of all, when you graduate, there's a lot of jobs in this too, around the world. You can go and see some really exciting places and live and work in some awesome places. You can work with boring companies. You can work with awesome companies. It's really, really cool. I had a client meeting last week with a company that makes the foam that they spray on race cars when race cars catch on fire. They make the foam that puts the fire out. How cool is that, right? And we might get to make a video. I might get to set a race car on fire for my job. What? That's pretty cool. So how much can you make? It really depends on what you do. An entry-level job in this, right when you graduate college, can be anywhere from around the mid 30s, low $30,000 a year, 30, 35, all the way to in our area. And this can change when you get to New York City or Chicago or Dallas or Atlanta, even like that, all the way up to entry-level jobs in the $60,000 to $70,000 range, depending on what you do. So it's a career that there's a lot of growth opportunities too. And you don't even have to work for a company. You can start a business for yourself doing that. You know, and so like I did for a long time, before I had a company with employees, I did all this stuff myself and made great money doing it, and got to make my own schedule too. It was great.
Well, Ryan, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to our students. I'm sure they've got a lot to think about, a lot of work to do. So thank you. Really appreciate it. And maybe we'll figure out a way to get you here in person at some point in the future.
It'd be my pleasure. Thanks, guys. Listen to Mr. Russell. He's a good guy.
All right. Bye, buddy.
See y'all.